that go out, sweat, come back, sell to us because we know how fresh it is and we know how real it is. We need some dedication from Wildlife and Fisheries to work with NOAA to explain to them what they seem to not know, and they don't get it. And we're going to tell you here today that we're going to bring in Wildlife and Fisheries and make sure that they work with NOAA and get back to us ASAP. And I thank you, and don't stop fighting the fight.
Give the next one up.
Good morning. I'm the mayor of Grand Isle. My family was fishing. They moved to Grand Isle in the 1940s. When the interest rate in the early 80s, when I had a family to raise and build a house and bought a boat, had to put a slicker suit in the cabin when I bought the boat from my uncle. I can't believe that we're still fighting, because in those days, you remember, in the early 80s, the shrimp was 35 cents a pound like it is today, but the fuel was 25 to 28 cents, or 28 cents a gallon. You remember that, huh?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. We took 23 local fishermen and business people. We got on a train in New Orleans. We left to go to Washington, D.C. to meet the environmentalists. It's a true story. Dean Blanchard can vouch for that. You fishermen out there, I've seen a few of them that rode with us on the train. I was in Barry Pass shrimping, butterflying, next to the fishermen. In the wintertime, I'd run 168 crab traps by hand to feed my family at 18% interest. I got involved in politics. My people elected me to fight for the fishermen. We went in a train. It took us 23 hours in '84 to get to Washington, D.C. We wanted to meet environmentalists. We wanted them to come to Grand Isle, anywhere on the coast, to see if we're catching these turtles. At that time, that's when the twin screws were just being built. Harry Sheremy, Choo-Choo's out here. His boat was brand new. I told environmentalists, why don't you fly to Grand Isle, to New Orleans, and I'll pick you up, and I'll put you in the back of this brand new shrimp boat, and for every turtle they catch, I'll go spend a year in jail. Why don't you come? Not a one of them came to Grand Isle. As long as I've been mayor, as long as I've been elected in 1989, I still have my commercial fishermen. I got a nice skiff that I never shrimped in the last 5 years because I took care of my people. But I can tell you one thing. I rake my beach every day. Every day I rake my beach. I raked Elmer's Island to make sure I open it for Memorial Weekend. And I told my men, if there's any Kemp Ridley turtles, make sure you let me know. And my guy said, Mr. David, we don't see that. And let me tell you, most of you fishermen here make your living right here in the Gulf, inside waters, between the mouth of the river all the way to the end of Louisiana. But I'm going to tell you one thing. I got the President of the United States to Grand Isle, and I'm going to tell you today, I've been trying to email the White House. I want to meet with the President, with these legislators, and I want to go tell him the truth. That we're not going to let no environmentalists shut us down. There's no turtles that we're catching. And I can tell you one thing, Mr. President, you need to get on PP. You need to make cough up. There's no reason why we should work for 35 cents a pound.
Hallelujah.
Because in 1984 we got paid for that, and the fuel today is what, at $3.65? Yeah. There's no man, no woman can feed his family. We're all hard-working people. We want to stop the imports, and Mr. President, we want your attention. We just want to go to work. We want to be the farmers of the sea. We want to raise our family, pay our bills, and continue our life, and be proud Americans so we can pay our taxes and enjoy the freedom. Thank y'all so much.
Woo!
Sam Jones, State Representative, St. Mary Parish, and Lower St. Martin. I've just asked State Representative Joe Harrison, who's chairman of the BP task force, to make sure that BP does what it's supposed to do, where Mr. Feinberg has the money to make things right and take care of claims that are made. Representative Harrison has said that he will call a meeting within 2 weeks, I guess somewhere around right after the 4th of July holidays, preferably in Houma. I would ask that each of you make plans to come to that meeting, bring your written specific requests on what your problems are as it's affected or as it applies to BP. And I'm willing to stay there all day, all night, all the next day until we get each one of them worked through with whoever Mr. Feinberg sends to that meeting. On the other part, we also need to invite, you need to have your voice heard, invite both of our United States senators and the congressman from the district and ask them to come to the meeting so that we can fully discuss and solve the problem that EPA has caused with the excluded devices and the turtles and all that. And that's how we get this solved. And I'll come to that meeting with you and stay until the clock runs out. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you all for being here. My name is H.E. Crow, Senate District 1, the southeastern part of the state. I cover eastern St. Tammany, coastal parish, far eastern New Orleans, coastal parish, St. Bernard parish, coastal parish, Plaquemines parish, all the way down 3 miles out, past the mouth of the river, coastal parish. My district is known as the Katrina district because the eye went completely over my district, and if that wasn't enough, my district is also known as the oil spill district because from day one, this district has been affected. And we've been trying desperately since day one to find out answers to many, many, many important questions, all the way to the White House. But to this day, a year and a half later, have yet to be answered. There is such a thing as the 10th Amendment in the Constitution of the United States of America that says states have a right to know, states have a right to protect their people, states have a right to protect their coasts, their culture, their jobs, their marshlands, and we have been overridden since this all began by the partnership between the United States of America, the administration, and the EPA and Coast Guard. We have not had a voice. You're here today because you have not had a voice. So I encourage you to keep on coming because I'm not going to give up.
We ain't gonna survive much longer.
I'm just not going to give up. We've got a lot of work yet to do. We've got to let the world know that our seafood is the best there is in the world, and our seafood is going to be the safest seafood in the world. We've got to get some help from our government to make that happen. Thank you.
Back to the board of Smith.
Marla Cooper, Plaquemines Parish Government. I'm here representing